Good afternoon. My name is Madison Carr,
I'm Brittany Murphy.
and we're here to tell you why education for African Americans is still freedom. Brittany and I both agree that reading and writing gave the voice to a slave. Education has always been the key to freedom, and it still is for Blacks today, specifically African Americans, because in slavery times we were forbid to read and write because of the white men who owned us. Yet today, education is open to all men, and it is still freedom specifically for African Americans.
Just to paraphrase that, I'm going to use this resource from the Oppressor's Bookshelf by Heather Andrea Williams and published in 2017. Education and learning to read as laws began to enhance and change for Black Americans. The only books available were written by white supremacists and condescending abolitionists. And then in my own words, education and learning to read and write is one of the factors that helped Black slaves escape slavery. Literacy better allowed Blacks to access information about the Underground Railroad and other resources that helped them gain the freedom that they did.
Right. And there were also many African Americans that paved the way for us to have this access to education. And I'm going to just share with you, Brittany, and to everyone else, just a short little snippet from W. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington and the origins of the Civil Rights Movement by David Blatty. And this statement is from Booker T. Washington, and it states now economic independence is basically the way African Americans can gain freedom. And he also established the Tuskegee and Industrial Institutes in Alabama. Yet, I feel like this idea of economic independence was only a different way of thinking about sharecropping and still relying on the white man in order to gain economics or to gain a place in the world, basically. Also, I'm going to give you a short little snippet from that same document, yet this one is from W. Du Bois. And I think you and I can both agree with W. Du Bois, who did come from an educational background, that education is still freedom today, and it should be used as a means to gain status and to gain power. And these two men were part of the biggest debate ever. And after this, it also led to Freedmen's Bureau Bill of 1866. Now, this bill was huge, and it enabled us to be able to use government land to build schools. And after this, even we gave rise to HBCUs. Do you know what HBCU is, Brie?
Until this class, I'd heard of them, but I didn't exactly understand what they were. I didn't realize the impact that they had on Blacks after the Civil War.
So HBCU is basically a historical Black college or institution, and it was founded after the Civil War.
HBCUs rely heavily on funding, on federal funding, and have been all but ignored and dismissed by the Trump administration and Trump himself when they asked for more assistance and just more money because they are public and state institutions. And without that extra funding, it's difficult to do more to encourage students and help them attend when they don't have $1 billion endorsement like many private white institutions do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and not only that, but to be ignored by the president too. It doesn't seem as though this country really puts an emphasis on equality of education and opportunity for everyone, no matter their skin color.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I see so many HBCUs just being ran down, for example, like JSU, because not having enough funding and things of that nature. Yet these HBCUs were so vital in a time where there was nowhere that provided a higher education for African Americans and that made us feel welcome. So many of our Black doctors and many of the people that we look up today are from HBCUs. So that
Yes.
it was very vital to the African American community.
Yes. And I don't think that, I believe that education is freedom, but I don't think that it's right that we don't all have that equal freedom and opportunity.
Right. I can definitely agree with you on that.
You.
Thank you for tuning in to our little mini TED Talk.